Doug McGillicuddy could hardly believe it when he got the call. After months of running the Gristle Museum, surviving mixed reviews, and pushing his eccentric food pyramid, he'd managed to catch the attention of 60 Minutes. Doug was invited to appear on a feature segment exploring unusual and niche cultural institutions, and he was ecstatic. The producers informed him that they wanted to dig into the philosophy and vision behind the Gristle Museum, from its Gristle-centric food pyramid to its now famous bodily functions wing. Doug was all in, already brainstorming sound bites and planning what he'd wear. The day of the interview, Doug was ready in his Gristle Gang t-shirt, complete with his signature blonde flat-top mullet styled to perfection. As he waited in the museum lobby, he felt like a kid on Christmas morning. This was his chance to reach a national audience, to show them that Gristle, fart smoothies, and musical oddities weren't just curiosities. They were art. When veteran 60 Minutes correspondent Leslie Stoll arrived with her camera crew, Doug greeted her with an enthusiastic handshake and offered her a Gristle chew as a welcome snack. Leslie politely declined, flashing a small diplomatic smile. The interview began with Leslie asking Doug about the inspiration behind the museum. Doug launched into his usual spiel, emphasizing the unsung value of Gristle and how he wanted to give a voice to underappreciated cultural elements. Leslie's face betrayed only a glimmer of amusement as Doug waxed poetic about his personal mission to celebrate the chew that never quits. Doug, some people would say that Gristle and fart smoothies are unconventional choices for a museum exhibit, Leslie commented, raising an eyebrow. Doug nodded, leaning in as if he was about to share a profound truth. Well, Leslie, those people just haven't learned to appreciate the simple things in life. You see, the Gristle Museum isn't just a museum, it's a movement. We're here to remind people of the beauty in everyday things that get tossed aside or ignored. Gristle, fart smoothies, and even that Symphony of Sounds exhibit in the Bodily Functions wing, these are parts of the human experience. Leslie continued with a series of questions probing Doug's background and the surprisingly devoted fan base the museum had developed, particularly among the Gristle gang on social media. Doug beamed as he explained how his fans resonated with his message of living boldly and chewing with pride. Then came the segment on the museum's controversial food pyramid, which featured Gristle at the base, deep-fried gravy as a staple, and fart smoothies in the advanced users tier. Doug was visibly thrilled to explain his rationale, gesturing wildly as he described each food group. Leslie Stoll glanced at the pyramid with a mixture of amusement and incredulity. Doug, have you had any health professionals weigh in on this? Unique dietary pyramid? Oh, plenty. Doug grinned. Some of them aren't exactly fans, but they're all talking about it, and that's what matters. Besides, not everyone's cut out for the fart smoothie cleanse. It's for the truly dedicated. As the interview continued, Leslie toured the museum, moving through the Gristle wing, the new metal wing, and finally the infamous Hall of Farts. When they entered the Hall of Farts, Doug's enthusiasm hit a new high. Here it is, Leslie, the crown jewel, Doug said proudly, pointing to the fart simulators with titles like Silent But Deadly and Thunder Roll. This exhibit is all about breaking down taboos and helping people reconnect with their bodies in a fun, educational way. Leslie looked at the simulators, her composed expression slipping into a barely concealed smirk. And the audience response? Oh, they love it, Doug replied. It's my most popular exhibit by far. People walk out of here feeling like they've learned something and had a laugh. Isn't that what museums are supposed to do? The final segment took place back in the lobby, where Doug proudly presented Leslie with a parting gift. A Gristle Museum tote bag filled with a miniature Gristle replica, a fart-scented candle, and a copy of his self-published pamphlet, Chew on This, a manifesto for the bold. As the camera crew wrapped up, Leslie shook Doug's hand, a twinkle of admiration in her eye. Doug, I must say, you've created something truly unique here. I think our viewers are going to be fascinated. When the segment aired, it instantly went viral. Clips of Doug proudly explaining fart smoothies and his Gristle-based food pyramid circulated online, sparking reactions ranging from horror to outright laughter. But Doug didn't care. His museum, his passion, his movement was in the national spotlight. As he watched himself on TV, Doug leaned back, a self-satisfied grin on his face. Next stop, he muttered to himself, a nationwide gristle revolution.